You didn't mean to, but you did more to get him elected than he did.
3 things handed him the win. If they had only done any 2 of these, he might have lost. If they had done all 3, he might have not even been on the Republican ticket. The first would have been simple: ignore him after he was out of office. But no, the Dems had to have their pound of flesh and then some. Every time they accused and indicted him, they handed him a microphone with a bullhorn attached. Dems never learned the simplest lesson. He can and does turn every negative in his favor. Every time they put him in the news, he made sure his base got fired up and grew. He soaked up oxygen every time. Same with the J6 rioters. They went for maximal prosecutions and maximal punishment for anyone and everyone associated with that day. Had they focused on the real rioters, those who fought police, broke windows, and forced their way in, Trump would have had a hard time defending his position. Again, no, the Dems had to take down anyone that wandered inside after the damage was done. Many of those should have been given, at most, a slap on the wrist, but maximum punishment for all. Had he been ignored and given as little attention as possible, he would have turned into yesterday's news in his gilded echo chamber in Florida. Second was the border. I lived in Chicagoland for most of Biden's term. I see why minorities turned on him. Open borders were hurting minority communities as funds and focus were diverted from minority programs and passions to handle the mass flux of illegal aliens. Yes, I said it. Since Trump supported a strong border, Dems automatically had to oppose it. The Washington glitterati didn't understand how everyday voters saw this. I think he won on this more than anything else. It wasn't about the single mom trying to bring her kids to America for a better life. It was the explosion of human trafficking, fentanyl, gangs, criminals, and others that hate America that the Dems inexplicably seem to be okay with. They refused to parse the spectrum of border crossers. Third was their candidate, or how she ended up the candidate. You have Biden 100% to thank for this one. If the Dems had held an open primary with all the sharp elbows that go with it, they would have ended up with a candidate they could have really gotten behind. It might have been Kay, maybe not. She at least would have had a chance to hone her message as she spent time on the ground with real Americans, something she has precious little experience doing. Blowing through $1.5 billion, doing worse than Biden in every single county, losing ground with minorities and almost every other demographic proves just how failed this strategy was. Thanks, Joe.
Dems, quit complaining. This one is on you.